Welcome to Hidden Heroes in Plain Sight. I got a very, very amazing guest here. His name is Chris Young. He is the owner of Air West. And this is the podcast where we are representing people in the community that are making an impact. So I just want to say welcome, Chris. Thank you for coming. And it's an honor to have you sit here, man.
No, I appreciate that. No, for sure. I definitely appreciate that.
Because
Enough stuff.
no, you all good. Because I've seen you for a while now, but as of late, gotten a little bit closer through Xander, through the basketball. And I've always noticed the work that you've put in. You're always working. You're always in the community, and not just one area of the community. You're all over. So I just want to say congratulations and thank you for your service and what you're doing and the impact you're making in the community. I want to start off by, first of all, congratulating you. But I want to ask you, how did Air West even come about? What was the thought process behind Air West?
Well, you're going to get used to my long-winded answers.
It's all good. Let's go.
So Air West started in 2012.
Okay.
On the heels of the lockout. So during the NBA lockout, we did some special things with the Drew League, and I was a part of it, and I already had my relationship with Nike. So after the summer of 2011, Nike wanted to be reinvest into the LA basketball scene.
Okay.
LA had been out the LA basketball scene for some time. Like they might have had I think Cal Supreme or AU team, but outside of like the clinics and the leagues and just having their presence in LA, that just wasn't around.
Non-existent.
Yeah, this wasn't their focus. So they was saying that they wanted to bring some energy back in LA and they wanted to invest. At the time, the Drew League was independent, so it didn't immediately go right to the Drew League.
Right.
They ended up getting a Nike contract 2 years after Air West.
Okay.
But the guys that was in charge of Nike at the time, they reached out to myself, Keon, and two other guys to help put this thing together. They wanted to be like a social, safe space for professional basketball players. And the other two guys eventually ended up falling off, but me and Keon stuck with it.
Mm-hmm.
It was lucky that it was at Air West. I just happened to be leaving work one day, and the guy, his name was Dion, and Amir, who was the Nike guy at the time, they were just scouting different gyms. And as I was walking out of Air West, they was walking inside as I was walking out of Expo, they were walking up, and I was like, yo, what y'all doing here? They
Yeah.
said, we've been around scouting gyms. I said, scouting gyms? We got the best gyms.
We got the best gym, for sure.
They was like, yeah, right. And I was like, come on, took them upstairs. They liked both the gyms. Went downstairs to my boss, and I introduced him to my boss, and I was trying to figure out how to make it work. So we ended up coming with a barter system. They came back a couple of days later with some more Nike people, and we got it done to where Nike would support Air West. So Air West has been there since 2012, so every Wednesday has been paid for through Nike the whole time. We hooked it up to where Nike would support the youth teams in the summertime with uniforms, and then we had it to where Nike would donate shoes to the team program. And we just offer like on some, I think this is what we should do. I'm just sitting right there in the middle of the meeting, I have a real good relationship with the city. I've kind of always been a part of the city, and I've been at Expo for 10 years by then, and I already had my Nike relationship, so I kind of knew what to say and how to make it work. And they went for it, and we've had that same contract since 2012.
Dude, it's so crazy. Because I haven't seen, and I really was trying to think, I was really trying to do a comparison of your program and the impact it's having on the youth and the fact that it is free. And it's a big program. A lot of people show up and it's a lot of coaches, a lot of trainers. Usually you go to like programs and it's like more kids than they can handle.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you have quality coaches, quality trainers, and it's like if it was anywhere else, it would be the most expensive. I wouldn't be able to afford it, like thinking about it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because that's how much quality of a program it is. And I've just been super impressed. How do you keep the quality trainers? You know what I mean? Like how do you keep that? Because they're all dope individually, super dope. How do you recruit and how do you get the?
Well, that's been a blessing. So I'll double back real quick. So before pandemic, that's what we did at Air West, is open runs.
Mm-hmm.
We ended up started scaling it down to middle school and high school kids toward the end. But when pandemic hit, everything shut down for 2 years. And sports was definitely one, especially not professional sports. And so I hadn't walked in the gym for 2 years. And then when I came back, Nike didn't have they didn't have a want for ball players. And the summertime is good, but we were
Yeah.
year round, so you can weekend warriors, and they was like, well, we don't really see any need for that. And then we kind of put my mind together and put my head together. And me and Keon thought about some stuff, and then we came up with the concept of just making it a skill development. So that's one thing. So it was actually it was actually might have come back after 2020. We just got to have come back, and then to be able to figure out a way to make it make sense to Nike, and here we are today. So my trainers. So Coach Sands, she sometimes recommends some people. I recommend some people. Keon's recommended some people, and it just seemed to work out that way. We actually just lost one of our trainers, Coach Anthony. He just got a job closer to his house, a little more money. So, but we just added Coach Sherry. So we get lucky. Sports is I get to pick my team basically. Yeah. So I know who I think may work. And we maybe had some people that hasn't lasted as long or haven't given as much energy. But for the most part, I think we're like 90%. Most of the people that come in, like Ant is upset he can't be a part of it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like he's leaving for any other reason other than it's a better opportunity for him and his family. So, we just have a good thing going right now, and I'm very overprotective of that right now too. It's like, so people be like, can I come coach? Can I come train? And I'll be like, either I won't respond to the DM or I just be like, this isn't the right time. You know what I'm saying? So, and I appreciate you recognizing that we do give you would think we were getting paid out there. Well, we get paid. I get paid, but you would think we were charging these parents the way we give.
The way that you guys coach and teach out there, it's a different level. And it's like the patience also. That's a key factor is like the patience that you guys have, because it's different skill levels. Yeah. It's some kids out there that don't know how to play basketball.
Some have never touched it before.
Never touched a basketball. And the fact that they're out there with y'all and y'all giving them the same amount of attention, it's like no favorites. It ain't no favorite thing out there. It's like, if you came here, we're going to give you the time to teach you the game of basketball. Yeah. Which is amazing.
Yeah, we're gonna meet you where you at, and even with my coaches, we talk about that, about the frustration level, and some of them have had different frustration levels, and we're working. And with it not being the same kids every week, it's on the go. Like, okay, well, we thought you might not be that good, so maybe go here and here. And some parents be like, I want my child to be here, I want my kid to be there, and that's kind of the reason why I've stepped away. That's the reason why I kind of don't want to do the AAU thing, because now we're talking about playing time and people complaining about favoritism and stuff like that. And eventually AirWest is going to have to go that route and give it some of our sauce. And maybe we can actually help adjust some of this, the cesspool right now when it comes to AAU basketball. But it's a fine line when a kid can't make a left-hand layup or can't dribble, but then coaches want to do in and outs and double moves. I'm like, well, tell this kid they don't have to do that. Let them know that it's okay if they can't do it. The next kid does. And so I have to sometimes stay on my coaches so that they stay locked in instead of just getting glued to just that one kid. Because when we do see a kid that can play, it's like, wow, you really want to. But then it's like, no, you can't just stick on that one kid. Let's help the other ones. Right.
And I've seen some kids out there that are straight ballers, like straight ballers. Like, he's got the sauce and this and that. But is it Coach Sands with the dreads?
Yes.
I saw her read a gentleman so viciously, but so professionally.
Yeah.
Me and my wife, me and Ayana sitting there on the bench right behind, you know what I mean? Like where the dude was at. And it just so happened that his son was in a group with just all girls, right? And he asked Coach Sands, like got up, tapped her, was like, hey, why is my son with all the girls? And the way she responded was just like me and Ayana like had to like look away, like, secondhand embarrassment.
You felt comfortable for dude. Right.
She said, how dare you ask me that? He's over there because there was an opening over there. And some of those girls are better than him. I've grown, she said, this is not verbatim how she said it way better than what I'm saying. She said, I grew up my whole life in a room with nothing but men. I never complained. And I'm here. Your son will be fine. Is he uncomfortable around girls or something? He's like, oh, no. Like,
he had to backtrack.
Had to backtrack it real quick. And then she read him a few more times. And she was like, and it's Women's History, it's Women's Month, or Women's Day. And so you going to do that on National Women's Day? Yeah. She said, you got to be out your mind. And me and Ayana were just like,
oh, man, I missed that.
You missed it. And so, but it's not that she didn't hear him. You know what I mean? She heard him. Yeah. But I'm gonna read you real quick, let you get some of this heat. But then maybe not even 15, maybe like 5 minutes later on like the second transition, she went and got him and put him somewhere. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it was like, don't have the audacity to ask me about a group of girls. This is a whole different world, homie.
Right.
This is a new this is free. This is we're taking our time to teach. And the way she did it, it was like we had already been paying attention to her, how good she was.
No, she's the best.
But then that part of it, I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, she's I always end up messing calling her Sans too, and Keon be getting mad. It's San. Her name is Sandra.
Okay.
But she's she's one. I don't know. She might actually be the best if you ask me. Like I look at her and like I learn stuff from her every time she's teaching. And one of the things that we preach, and I know I definitely preach to the kids, is you're not competing with the kid to the right and the left of it. You're competing with the basketball in that rim. So it don't matter if this kid is 5 years old or 17 years old. When you got the ball in your hand, you just need to do what you need to do and don't be focused on the other stuff that you can't control.
Yeah.
By what line you in, you know what I mean, who you working out with, you know what I'm saying? So
because it's the same drill.
It's the same drill. It's the same drill. And parents be sometimes they sometimes subtly say stuff, but you know,
parents are a trip, man.
With the experience that we have, it's just like, bro, I've seen pros do the same thing every day in and out. So, excuse me, your child can do the same thing.
Right.
So I don't care if they are getting bored and want to do something else. They need to do this. And so we pretty much have a good idea of what these kids need. And for the most part, overwhelmingly for the most part, the parents trust us.
Right.
You know.
Right. Another question I have, like being that you've played basketball at such a high level and being around other players that are high level athletes, basketball players in their journey and coaching and training with them, how has that affected your journey and affected your teaching and coaching with the children? Like, what have you taken from that to here?
Oh, I mean, well, you know, my whole life is, you know, if you follow my Instagram, you can tell I'm kind of like, I'm learning my life as I write, you know what I'm saying? So, but I have a core value of things. One of the things is I wasn't that good growing up.
Okay.
So I would have been the kid that had been kind of shy to be
out there.
Yeah. That would have been like, oh my God, I don't know if I want to do this. And I've recently started telling the kids that they were brave before they go out there.
Yeah, I've heard you have some great speeches.
Because I appreciate that too, because I'd be trying to be real. I don't be wanting the parents to hear me.
I've heard some good ones, man. It's like, dang, he's starting it off with good words and ending it with good words, like words of affirmation, speaking life into the children.
I'm trying, you know, and I go back to saying, when I'm out there, and this is what I try to get to my coaches, is I see myself in them. I remember being 11 and 12 years old and not being able to play basketball. People say I couldn't play basketball up until high school, you know what I mean? So that's helped me have the patience and the understanding to project that to the kids and to the coach. Like I always think that how I approach things is how the kids would approach things. I think it's how my coaches approach things. So being that I was the last man on my high school team, you know, averaging, I've said it before, averaged 1 point in high school, you know what I'm saying? But to have gotten gradually better at basketball to where through relationships or just through my own game, I was on the floor with NBA players. You know what I'm saying? Like I went to junior college and then didn't even get a scholarship to go to D2. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't that D1. He was phenomenal from day one. I ended up being tough and I played hard. And then I ended up getting some DNA that kicked in and it all made things make sense. You know what I'm saying? I already had the right foundation of how to play and how to be a good teammate. So I'm always in awe and appreciative of the places I've been because of basketball, the people I've got to play ball with, the people I've gotten to know, like just leaving All-Star Weekend. And I was at a function and someone asked me, like, so what do you do? Like who are you? Because I'm getting so much respect and admiration from all these dudes that play ball.
Yeah, everybody knows you. Everybody knows you.
And not even in just the LA area, you know what I'm saying? Just over the years. And I give a lot of credit to Dorell because me being around Dorell has really opened up my doors and given me If not at initially respect, but over time respect. Like I'm not just a guy hanging out with the
Yeah.
like that's the real boy. Oh, what does he do? Oh, that's the guy. But wait, didn't we just see this guy? So I always have my own life going. So the whole journey, I just respect basketball.
Right.
And I feel like sometimes I respect it too much because that's it's not too much, but I have a different appreciation for this game and what it can do for me or what it's done for me and what I've known it's done for other people than I know most people have for it.
Yeah.
So, a little long-winded, but
no, that's perfect.
yeah, but that's so yeah,
because you would have a different outlook because it wasn't given to you.
Not at all.
Nothing was given to you, so you have a different appreciation. Like, nah, everything that I got, I fought for that. I worked to get here, and it's some people that are just like everywhere. Everywhere you go, there's somebody who's just naturally gifted, or somebody, or they got the coach's ear, or somebody's got their. You had to work your way into that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, what better person to talk to the youth and say, no, it's a grind. It's nothing's going to be handed to you. Nothing's going to be given to you. You have to work for it. And that's why I appreciate how you open up, because we're coming from football to basketball, right? And there's a culture difference between football and basketball, but the big difference I've seen out of everything is how you open up the practice and how you close the practice. It's all together. Everybody together start, everybody disperses. Did you ever think that you were going to be in the mentor position?
Yeah, so that's one of my
He's like, yeah, I did.
No. But the funny thing I think is I always thought I'd be like a 10-year NBA career.
Yeah.
Like when I say I love basketball. Like I've watched all the Come Fly With Me's. I've watched every basketball movie, and I wanted to be that guy.
Yeah.
And clearly the NBA thing wasn't going to happen, but you want to find out how can you still be. I wanted to be the guy to pull up in the Cadillac and have all the kids come up to me and buy everybody ice cream. You know what I'm saying? Like I just that local guy, and I can tell you, I knew I wanted to do this.
Where did that come from?
Bruh, I don't know, man. Like I lost my father when I was young, and I didn't get to I didn't find basketball initially, but like 3 months, 6 months later, I was in love with basketball. I've had some really cool coaches growing up. You know what I mean? I admired all of them.
That's dope.
I had one in Rancho. He had his swag was off the chain.
Yeah.
Then I had my one in Audubon, and he had the fancy car and the big house and the pretty wife, and then going on and on. So it's just like, and I had some coaches I didn't mess with, but I've learned to, I've used both. So where it came from, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just knew I was gonna always come back to my neighborhood. I always thought that was cool to be able to come back to your neighborhood and just be and low key be the man for whatever you've done in life and just give back.
Give back.
I just and this ain't an easy thing to keep going. We don't have all this. I would love for us to scale up and have more sponsors and stuff, but I'm fighting for it every time. I want this, and I want this to be all throughout LA. You know what I'm saying? Not just in one part. So, I don't know. That's a good question because I'm still trying to figure out why I love it so much because it's kicked my ass more than once. You know what I'm saying? It's disappointed me more than once. You know what I'm saying? To this day, I got things that I want to accomplish through basketball that I haven't been able to accomplish that I'm like, I was joking with my boys there. I don't know if I was joking. I was like, man, I just know to get a 9 to 5. And he was like, bro, you can't get out the game. Like, he's like, there's no way. You know what I'm saying? So, I just got to keep thugging it out till I get to where I want to be. You know what I'm saying? But this is what you're supposed to do. Like, that's why I'm disappointed in some dudes. Like, people ask me how is AirWest free. You know what I'm saying? And I can go around how we work the budget to get it free. But I'm like, bro, we paying people $60 million to play basketball. How can teaching the game cost?
Right.
I can understand travel ball and all that. But teaching the game, and then I'm from LA.
Not even coaching, teaching.
Like we're teaching the game and we're not forcing, but we're paying people, or people are paying and getting mediocre, and I'm just blessed to be in a position for a guy that, like I said, D2 basketball player, junior college basketball player, didn't play overseas like that, didn't play in the NBA, but I still got Nike's ear. Right. Nike's respected me enough.
And they recognize.
And the leadership has changed left and right. And I'm thankful that the people here that are still there are still rocking me, but just to be able to do that in my neighborhood. And I lived there. I went to the high school across the street from there. I went to Crenshaw too, but I went to Man Yards.
Yeah.
I worked at that. My first job was at the Expo Center. My mom still lives across the street. I ran rugged up at USC growing up. You know what I mean? So to be able to do it in my own neighborhood, outside everything I'm writing and about my history and other people, that's like the biggest bar I've ever accomplished. And I'm just so grateful to be in the position to do that. So long-winded. I don't know where it came from, but I'm happy I have that spirit. My mom had that spirit too.
Okay.
My mom was a real community person. My mom worked at FECO, so I don't know where you're from. But
I've heard about FECO.
Yeah, it was the heartbeat of LA for a long time. My mom was the manager there. My mom used to hire my friends, and my mom used to. Everybody knew me as Miss Mifflin's son. You know what I mean? So I saw her getting love, and we didn't have no money. You know what I'm saying? And it was tough at the time, but people looked at my mom as if she was some special lady, which she is, but I'm like, well, special ladies usually have big cars and fancy houses.
Yeah, exactly.
We in the hood, and you know what I'm saying? So, but nah, it's that's if I learned anything from her, I learned how to just be of service and just a good person no matter what's going on in your life.
And that's a common theme, is living a life of servitude, right? It pays off in dividends, not even that you're looking for a payoff, but some people value other things. You know what I mean? Like, I value being able to look at myself in the mirror in the morning and know that I'm not sacrificing integrity, my morals, for what I'm doing in life. And I feel I've found my passion now. And you're walking and being able to do that in your passion, something you've done your whole life. And that's commendable, man. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I want. This is why we have the hidden heroes in plain sight, because there is a life that is not being shown, where it's a life of gratitude and gratefulness and being able to give back. And that's what you're doing in the community. And now with these kids and these children, there's so many distractions. There's so many, like, social media, TV, just anything going on in the world. They have access to more things than what we have access to. How do you think basketball or athletics can help keep kids focused?
I mean, well, the parents definitely have to play a major part in that, because like you said, they have so many different ways to get distracted. And even my own nephew, like my nephew's not in love with basketball yet. And that's become a problem. I just want my nephew to be a baller, that's all. And,
come on, guy.
Right. Like,
come on, guy.
Or allow me to have some kids around this piece of something, but I still got to wait 10 years. I'm going to be an old daddy either way, though. But when we get into it, when I do start to, you and that tablet, it's that tablet. It's just that tablet. And it's just like, bro, that's not gonna make you a better man. It's not. I get it, because I played video games way too long in life. You know, even during the pandemic, I went back to the video games. But I just feel like the sports aspect of it, you know, you just can't lose with sports, if you ask me. Like, we just did it, my team at the ball. We just went 0-10 and won the game. And they probably feel like they are losers, but bruh, they learned something from that. And it was able to, and it might not manifest now, but later on in life. So when it comes to sports and stuff, if they just stick with it, you don't have to be the NBA player or WNBA player. Just play it, or play other sports, just to figure out who you are, figure what you like and what you don't like. So sports will always be pivotal. You know what I'm saying? I think sports are, that'd be a whole nother subject. At a certain age, it starts to get really muddy. But this age, just play. You know, if you score 2 points or if you score 20 points, there's always a teachable moment within that stuff. And we've been able to see that, not necessarily in their game, but like some of the kids that's been coming to AirWest, and we're only once a week, you can see the change in their bodies. Right. You can see the change in their personalities. And I'm not saying it's just us. I'm saying that they're using these in other aspects of their life. Maybe they are starting to play more basketball. Maybe they are starting to eat better. Maybe they are starting to be more active. And so sports, you know, basketball is my main focus, but it's just like, you need it. I couldn't imagine, as much as sports, trust me, I done came home crying before. I done got socked in the eye before. You know, I just had things that where I'm like, I should put this thing down. It just made me a better person. Right. It builds character. It does. And I don't know how else you can build character outside of, there's other ways to build character. I just think that sports is probably the number one, if you ask me. It's a pressure chamber. Right. And it's right there, and it's every day.
And I love it because the life lessons, I tell this to people all the time, is like you get to witness your child, or the coach gets to witness or navigate the children through these hardships. Like, hey, you might not be getting in, but when you do get in, make the most of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Work hard and then work your way to a position. And Xander, all-star athlete in football, stand out like superstar, right?
Yeah.
Gets to basketball, he ain't made a shot. And it humbles you. You know what I mean? And it's like, Xander, how long did it take you to get good at football? 3 years? I was like, you think you're going to get good at basketball overnight? No. So what do you need to do? Practice.
Right.
But I don't have to tell him that shit because he's gone through it and saw the fruits of his labor. And it's just like, right now, Xander's just barely been playing basketball, but now he dribbles the ball like he plays basketball.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like just, you know, basketball people have their little swag, you know, like however y'all are.
Yeah.
But he just is like, and I'm like, damn, this little dude's turning into a basketball player right in front of our eyes. And I think that is such a great gift to have as a coach or somebody to see these kids get these life lessons. You know what I mean? And coach them through it. Like, don't quit. Don't quit. You ain't got to. And there's nothing wrong with rec.
Right.
What happened? Why is everybody going away from rec?
Because people want the instant gratification. They want to skip steps. You know, it's parents too, bro. Like the kids, to me, there's no bad kid. They're just bad parents.
Right.
Like,
right.
if you catch them early. Now, you get a kid 12, 11, yeah, he's a bad kid because you might not have done something early. But you catch them now, like, they going to follow your lead for the most part.
Right.
It'll be really hard for a kid to just totally go the opposite of what their parents say, especially if they got both their parents.
Mm-hmm,
And so having a father at one is essential. Like, that is, like, I'm super blessed because this could have went so many different ways when I lost my father. You know what I mean? And to be able to still be standing here, to have these lessons, that's a bar within itself. You know what I'm saying? But I noticed your boy the other day at the Ronaldo game. After the game, the game, everybody cleaning up and they out there playing.
Playing basketball.
I'm comfortable playing now. I'm comfortable knowing I know X, Y, and Z.
Exactly.
And now if they dog me, now I know now what I got to do to get them later. But just the fact that you can go out there and play.
He would have never done that.
Bruh.
He would have never done that. If his introduction to Air West led us to Baldwin, right? But if it had not been for Air West, Xander would not have been on that basketball court with all those people.
Right.
He'd have been like,
right, I don't want to be.
Don't do this. But it gave him the confidence to be himself in front of people. And that's the kind of shit that transfers over into life.
In life. Right.
Speaking, engaging, like, okay, you know what? I just got to do it. Like, let's get it over with. I've played in front of people. I've been coached in front of people. I've been yelled at in front of people. I've been praised in front of people. It's all the same shit.
Yeah.
And that's what you guys are doing. And it's so bomb that I'm just over the hill with what you guys are doing and how amazing it is. Do you have any stories, any like kids that have come up that you've seen them go on to greater things, or
in general, just Air West?
It both.
Well, because Air West has only been around 2 years.
Yeah.
So we've had middle school kids come back when I said we were doing the middle school thing. So like Brandon, he was like my first middle school kid that I let play. Brandon, because me and his father are best friend. He wasn't ready, but me and his father grew up together. And Brandon, that was like how my nephew is to me now. Brandon was my right hand. I was his first coach when he was 10, and Brandon knew me since 10 years ago.
Okay.
But me and his father went to Audubon together, so I've been on him forever. But then when we was doing middle school, Sky Clark was the second kid that we let come play. Sky Clark is now the point guard at UCLA. Josh Christopher.
Ballers.
Yeah. Josh Christopher, when he was in middle school, came to Air West early. He plays for Miami Heat right now. We had one kid named Carl Lewis who, Carl came young. He didn't come in middle school. He came in high school. But he ended up getting murdered a couple years ago. But he was a phenomenal kid. You can Google him. He had a tough time in life, but he was special. But if somebody would have caught him early, he would be making half $1 billion in the NBA.
Really?
Or on the football field, because he ended up
He was great. He was that good.
He was raw at all of it. And he ended up his first game at Linwood, because he was going to Linwood High School. He averaged probably like 18 and 18, but his first game at Linwood on the defensive end, he had 7 sacks. Like, no, he was a freak of nature.
He was just a freak of nature. He was just a beast.
But he just grew up tough.
Yeah.
He just grew up tough, and it ended up catching him to a pandemic. But like, I met Dorell when he was 17. I was just telling me and him that at Devin's birthday.
Yeah.
When he was 17. So that's when I met Dorell when he was 17. But I met Russell when he was 13. So to be able to see Russell, that's like my main measuring stick when it comes to parents. When they get too high, they get too low. Like I've seen this. I've seen a 13-year-old like who could barely run straight become one of the best players ever played basketball.
One of the most athletic.
Most athletic, heart. His heart is so big. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Triple Double. Like he exceeded all expectations. You know what I'm saying? So. But yeah, through AirWest, they're just younger. But when I was at Lusinger for that time, Dorell's little brother DeLon, I remember when DeLon was 11 years old running around with Dorell clothes on and shoes he couldn't fit.
Yeah, exactly. And now DeLon is just the tradesman of the whole league.
Right.
Like, ain't nothing he can't do. Yeah. Hey, don't worry, I can't play.
And they need him. Yeah, he gonna have DeLon might touch every jersey in the league. He might, whatever. It's going to come with a check, too.
Right, and it's going to come with some dividends afterwards because if you can do that as a player, what can you do as a man outside of playing?
And you playing with, like with Dorell, they just good people. So Dorell's teammate, D-Wade, has, kept Dorell, not kept him, but if D-Wade got something going on, he's put Dorell on, or if Dorell needs D-Wade's name on something.
Yeah.
So relationship. So DeLon's doing the same thing. DeLon's playing with all these guys that will probably make 10 times more than him, but they're going to all be businessmen. And, and if you trust me on the court, you might trust me in the business world too. So DeLon's going to be good. You know what I'm saying? I would love for my guy to find somewhere and get a championship, and make another big payday. But if he has to jump from team to team and keep getting millions on top of millions, and that's just how it's going to be. You know what I'm saying?
And I think with DeLon, I think it's building, because first off, let me just say, Dorell and DeLon, they're just good-ass people.
They're good people.
They're just good people, and I don't want to say that they don't have to be good people, but they don't have to be.
I'm a firm believer in that. I say it all the time about people. That person don't have to be a good person.
Dude, they don't have to be that, but they are. Their upbringing, where they come from, their mom, their dad, it's just how they're brought up, and it's a beautiful thing. And just when you were talking about Russell Westbrook, they always show Russell in a light of lashing out, right? They don't show all the good shit.
Right.
They don't show the money going back, the things that he's doing, and then they don't talk about his parents. You know what I mean? Like, I met his mom and dad on a commercial. I'm doing lighting. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I'm just a regular dude, and they don't have to take the time to talk to you and say, hey, I see you doing a good job, but he was brought up the right way also. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's just goes back to the foundation of having that support system, those people that are raising you to keep you going.
And it came from two different ways. And I use both those parents, both sides, both Russell and Dorell's and DeLon's parents as examples as well. Like, even though they all end up catching their wave later on in life, Dorell's 17, that's crazy to say it was later in life, but Dorell was in the NBA by 18. 18,
yeah. He went straight to the...
He had to do a prep school at South Kent, and then he went to Miami after that, got drafted. But DeLon and Russell, DeLon had to do 4 years of college plus junior college, and Russell had to do 2 years of college. So they had humble beginnings. Yeah. But when it started... Stacey and Ray have always just been the same people, and they've been level-headed the whole time. Shannon and Russell could have actually got worse because they were seeing way more success and money. And I don't, whatever they are now to people, like you said, they're good people to people now. I don't talk to them as much anymore, but I'm assuming they still solid people. But when they were coming up, they weren't bad parents. They weren't Big Russell never got on Reggie about Reggie coaching his son or me coaching his son. And Shannon, I ain't never heard Shannon ask us one basketball question. It's just, is he being a good dude? Is he being a good kid? And Ray, no, they weren't those kind of parents. But you got parents now that they kid can tap at 10, and now they want to start politicking stuff and telling you how this should be. And this is not necessarily from AirWest, it's from my EYBL days and outside of AirWest, and just seeing how people react. And like you said, even when it comes to rec ball, you said, what's wrong with rec? Some kids are really good at rec, and their parents are acting like it's AU, and I'm just like, oh, you're tripping. Yeah. Let's calm it down a little bit. So, those are my examples of just parents that just let their kids live. Yeah.
Is that a change that you've noticed? Is that a big change?
Oh, it's the worst. Like, that's one of my things when I did EYBL. I love that job. One of my favorite jobs. I'm actually still salty that I'm not doing it anymore. But there are some really nasty people in the world with some really talented kids.
Right.
And like you said, when you talk about the don't have to be good people, they know that.
Yeah, and they aren't being.
And they aren't. And it's some really, and I just sat back and was like, that was probably the worst part of the whole gig, was just having to deal with parents. And granted, your kid will be great, but you ain't got to be no buster. Like, I don't understand the buster part. Like, I don't care how fine you are or how high you can jump. You don't have to be a buster.
Yeah.
And people just, and I wasn't popular like that in high school. I was 5'10". I wasn't stand out. But I understood once I got to be 6 foot or so and I could jump out the gym.
Yeah.
Decent looking dude. I ain't got to be no buster about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just seeing people.
Let it get to your head.
Yeah, just not being a good person. Like,
Yeah.
why you just, that's how you talk to people?
That's nasty.
Like you really talk, like my running joke is like when you go to AAU stuff and you see parents just lashing at referees or the coaches. And I'm like, that's how you act at work? No way. There's no way you act like that at work. So why do you come here and think you just say and act any kind of way because your son is nice? And some parents, it never catches up to them because their kids have gone on and will go on, and they're gonna reap the benefits of their kids. But I know some parents that their kids didn't make it, and they were assholes the whole time.
Did it? Does that follow a kid? Does that is that a thing that's like talked about behind? Like, I don't want to say behind the scenes or behind closed doors. Like, it come with this baggage. This is
Oh, here comes such and such. His mom be tripping. His daddy be acting like this. And you got to deal with it as long as the kid is talented. But I'm saying once the people see some kinks in armor, I ain't got to return your call no more. I ain't got to call you no more. I ain't got to send you a package no more. And then that's when they start getting on the phone. You don't love me no more. Come on, bro. Come on. It was. So that's what a lot of basketball. There's a lot of fake love, but that definitely can haunt a kid.
Yeah.
Even I know some good kids that got. All the kids don't reflect their parents, but when they kids say move, they got to move. You know what I'm saying? So, and when you get to this AU stuff and kids playing for 5 different teams in 3 months, it's like, were you teaching your kid any integrity or any, they got to stick it out? Like, everything's not going to be perfect.
You just go to the next team. Oh, this don't work out. I go here. There was 2 kids that were on our football team that left because they didn't like the situation, went to a situation, whatever, but took off when the times got rough. We won the Super Bowl the next year.
Yeah.
And beat them in the playoffs to get there. You know what I mean? Like, and you put in the hard work on this team, but you look like, what's going on? And that's what I wanted to ask also, because you're in the thick of it. AAU, like, I don't know. I want to say when I was a kid, when I was younger, there were traveling teams. And every traveling team that there was, everybody that was on that team was somebody.
Yeah.
Like, you had to be that to be on. What was it? The Magic? Or
I don't know how old you are.
I'm 43.
43. So it might have been. I mean, Compton Magic may have been around. I know, like Aaron Afalo, I think they were on like the first few teams. So I ever owe Aaron is. So Aaron might be 40 something.
Yeah,
now. But they had the Watts Magicians back in the day. My AU team was out of my boy's father's shop. On Arlington and Washington, a little grocery store, and he supported us out of his own pocket. So no, it wasn't a rampant thing. AU teams that really traveled to Vegas and New York, and everybody on that team was somebody.
Somebody.
Sure. Oh no.
And I've gone to some of these tournaments. It's like I didn't want to laugh because I don't like laughing at kids and like at their expense. But in my own judgment, my own head, maybe some immaturity there. But I saw some kids that did not look or play as if they were on AAU.
Yeah, that's watered down. That's a money grab. There are some really high level AAU programs, not preferably, but mainly in EYBL.
Yeah.
Like, those are really some high level teams, and even Compton has a few. I think Under Armour might have 1 or 2. I mean, not so much. To say you're on an AAU team and get the backpack and the sweatsuit. Yeah, that's all they getting, because some of these kids do not need to be playing AAU basketball right now.
I was like, they collect, and I started counting I was counting dollars. I was like, dude, there's like 20 basketball courts in here.
Yeah.
20 games going on just in this hour.
Yeah.
It's all day parking. I was like, they're making $500,000.
No, it's a money grab, and this is some of the things I wrestle with because I'm not a capitalist and I don't believe in. I'd rather get my money from corporations than from parents, and so but that's what the difference is basketball now. See, back when we were coming up, and even football too, to some degree. I'm not in the world, so I can only assume. You could correct me. My high school coach didn't, and I mean that's a good thing that you can because I do now.
Mhm.
But you didn't make your living off coaching.
Yeah.
That was something you did on the low, on the slide. Like when I
Yeah.
coached the Lou thing, it was just I didn't make no money off that. I was volunteering.
Yeah.
But
It's
now,
the love of the game.
Yeah, the love of the game, or you're supposed to get back, or just spending your time in the right
Yeah.
areas. But now with the trainers and the AU teams, you can support your family off this.
Right.
So 10, I do know 10 is what I need, but if I can get 25 and have them other 15 paying, I'm sorry.
I get some extra here, some extra there.
Survival of the fittest, you know what I'm saying? Like, so the why and the motivation for most people now that are training, even with the way money's been thrown around in sports. Anyway, it's not so much let you get better. It's more so like let me win games.
Yeah, let me win right now.
Yeah, and I said that about, and I always say it too. Like when I was with the EYBL, I was a part of the problem. Because if you with the EYBL, you first class. Everything. Yeah. But I was also a part of the solution.
Okay.
So I would be in rooms saying things that may not have been the most popular things with EYBL, or when I'm in Nike rooms. I'm always gonna come across as the single mom kid that wasn't that good.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my angle.
Yeah.
I don't come from both my parents got Teslas and we live, up a Ladera. No,
right.
We talking about one parent and the child's not that good, but he loves playing. So how can we figure that out?
How can we figure that out?
So,
because the passion is there. Just because of your means is not your meaning.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like just because it's a little here doesn't mean that these years in this training is, like you said, the instant gratification. You don't want to put the work in as a coach to see like how good of a coach you are. Like I helped this kid get here.
Yeah.
Like you want them already there.
No, because there's no money, there's no guaranteed money.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to start your own AU team, you want to get on the Nike circuit, you want to get the free Nike stuff, you want to get them Nike checks, you better start winning. Like I said, I'm in a fortunate space, and I'm not even like overstating that. Like what we could do at Air West, I don't have to press. I don't have to. Like I call people up. Well, we used to call around to get kids because we were starting, but now people come and some of my boys be like, "Yo, my son, he this, he that." And I'm like, that
okay.
That's not
okay.
That's not how this
that
works
means nothing to me.
That's not how this works for me. You know what I'm saying?
Like cool.
If I'm putting together a team, I want to hear that. I just want to hear your son want to be around some basketball and is a good kid. You know what I'm saying? So, so I do understand both sides. I do understand that I got a mortgage to pay, I got a child to put through college, and my program might suffer from that. But I'm on the opposite side where I don't have that. I always say anxiety.
Yeah,
because I'm not. I always talk about time. If I was a parent, then I'd be all the way. You couldn't touch me if I was a parent because I would understand what that anxiety feels like to have my kid be so good so fast, or when parents just don't have patience for their kids. It's a form of anxiety.
Yeah,
but I don't have that because my program is already paid for, and God willing to be paid for. I would love to do Air West until I don't. Don't play. I'm not around basketball anymore.
Right.
So, but yeah, so it's a catch-22. It's a real catch-22 because even like you said, even at Baldwin or other recreations like that, the teaching isn't as it's not enough time, and it's volunteers, and what I'm saying. So what we got going on at Air West, we're very, very blessed, and I could say I appreciate all my trainers.
It's like the best of all worlds.
Yeah, I believe so, and I believe it's a lot of like the kids don't even know yet. Like them kids might see some Instagram stuff, and their parents might, but they don't even understand who's in that gym with them.
Right.
Like who all of us have touched at one point, or where we're at in our lives, and that's why I love how we're creating somewhat of a family, that we're seeing the same kids over and over. So it's no longer, and I'm bad because I don't be knowing no names, but I need to learn everybody's name.
How you gonna learn everybody's name?
Man,
it's hundreds of people, and that's just the kids. Like you got parents and that's the parents is watching too. They there. Yeah. Like that's how good the program is. The parents is like watching the program happen. Yeah. I don't know, man, because I don't see why people haven't, or maybe they have, I might be wrong, haven't seen Air West and be like, we need to do that.
I don't understand why. I don't understand it either.
What is going on? Like, how do you not look at Air West? And I'm not even just talking about just for basketball. I'm talking about for everything. Like, it is a model match for what should be happening.
I believe that. And Joy probably hears more of my rants about this kind of stuff than anybody, but I know what I'm doing. Like, this isn't like, I threw something against the wall and it's worked. It's like, no, I know if you do it this way, then it works that way. And then if you have the right intentions, then this is all from everything I've gone through, from me coming up to me sitting right next to Michael Jordan and having conversations, you know what I'm saying? Or being at his camp and
playing against him. I see you playing against him.
Or just not, like I always make my coaching staff wear a whistle. I don't care if you blow the whistle, have your whistle.
Right.
Well, back in the day, if you were at Michael camp, you didn't have your whistle, he'd send you back to the dorms to go get it.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? Or being around Kobe and being like, Kobe, it's only an hour. And be like, no, this is how. I remember one time he made my boys teach the kids the flex offense. And they, for a camp. And they did it. Okay, I had a young group.
Hey, so wait, Kobe had Mamba mentality for everything.
Oh, no,
it was nothing out of bounds. It was everything.
So I just talked about Boy Monty. So I had the younger group. So my younger group is like basically just what I do at AirWest, fundamental stuff. But on the other side, you got to start doing. So my boy did the older kids, and they walked through it, but they did not think they were gonna have to actually do it. So Kobe during the assembly, Kobe was like, yeah, and your group. Show him the flex office. And I got on video. My boy, his name is Monty. He was furious. And first of all, he's the quiet dude. He don't like talking one. He had to get in front of the whole group.
Oh, shoot.
And show him the flex offense. And if he did it wrong, because Kobe was right there.
Oh,
and they did it
shoot.
Right. And Monty was like, oh, no, that's how, when he was on, he was like, bruh. It's like, so just hearing and seeing stuff like that and just the little fine details can go a long way,
right.
You know what I mean? So, and I don't want to say frustrated, but frustrated to some degree. Nike does look out. Man, I can't sit there and say they don't. But there's so many other sponsors, and that I'm hopeful will one day do something like, wait a minute, what is going on over here?
Yeah.
Oh, we need to. Oh, let me donate some computers. Let me donate some food. Let me donate some drink. Like, or just, and that's a long conversation, and sometimes. I've been told that people think everything is so sweet that they don't need to. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, but I don't get that part either. Like, because people, you look at other foundations, or not foundations, but programs, they have this, they got all the little sponsors on the bottom of them. So, and I think it's going to get there, but that has been one of my things over the past year or so. Like, because it's hard for me to describe Air West, because when I describe it, it sounds like we just think, okay, it's going to be some basketball, but you literally have to be there to understand that this isn't just about who can score the most points. It just really isn't. And
it's not at all.
I don't want that to be that. And I want to just, God willing, we'll keep growing. We're growing. It's not absolutely. As fast as I want.
And it's like but that's like, I'm a small platform, but it's Hidden Heroes in Plain Sight. Is Air West. Is that program that just need more eyes on it. Like more eyes and more people to say, okay, this fool done figured out the blueprint.
I think so.
This fool done figured out the blueprint. Why has nobody brought this to we need like the big wigs, like, why did nobody bring this to my table?
Right.
Why don't I have videos or anybody talking about this? And I think it's on its way. So kudos to you for that, for starting something and having something that people can emulate in any platform.
Yeah, we're not reinventing the wheel. It's just the way we're doing it. It's basketball. It's basketball and kids. I've said it before. It's basketball and kids. This is not like rocket science.
Right.
But how you approach it and your intentions can change the whole mood of everything, or the whole vibe of it. And I think that we have a good idea of this thing should work.
Right. And then I want to pick your brain about the now with the landscape having NIL deals and younger people being able to get paid or whatnot, and the new 6-year athlete in college.
Bruh.
Let me hear your thoughts on it. Let me hear. Just go ahead. Like,
we got a whole part 2 of this, because I talk about this. So I don't have all the ins and outs on NIL or like exactly how it works. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit there and act like I'm but I do believe it's the death of sports.
Oh my Lord. Damn.
I just can't understand. I just don't see how that translates to the things that we think are core, fundamental things to development as a person and as an athlete when we are paying amateurs and our brightest to play sports.
Right.
Like maybe college. So I always say, this is why I say, the powers that be were so stingy and so selfish for so long that when athletes started getting any kind of traction, they just was like, well, just do what you want to do.
Right.
And so now we're getting kids making millions of dollars to go to a university for 6 months. So we know the education
millions of dollars for 6 months.
Yeah,
a kid.
Like if you play basketball, like the dudes that sign for basketball, they're not going. They don't do 2 or 3 years. Now, a college kid might stay in because your quarterback get a little stronger, but basketball players are going basically for a year, or if they do 2 years, they still ain't going to class. We all know that. I'm not finna. I work for you. Why I gotta go to class? You know
yeah,
I mean?
exactly.
So, but even when you trickle it down to, like we give high school kids NIL deals. Now I don't know how much that is, and I really don't understand why. But that's just not what. Very few child actors or singers that have money at a young age have gone on to be well-rounded adults.
Right.
And now we're gonna do.
And that's saying it nicely. Yeah. That's putting it very nicely.
Right. And now we're just going to do that with sports. Now, I get it. You know, there's always going to be outliners. There's always going to be 1 or 2 kids that deserve it and are making a lot of money for university. Still don't understand that because Alabama, everybody go to your games anyway, no matter who's in the uniform. So I don't know why you got to pay X, Y, and Z so much money to play. And me and my brother was talking about this too. Like, I can only imagine, how do you coach them?
Someone who's getting paid.
I'm getting paid too. Like, coaches make good money. But you 18 years old and you got 3 times what I got. And you already probably don't respect people anyway because that's just the nature of being
how you came up.
Athlete. You're an athlete, you think you know everything anyway. And now somebody just reinforced that by giving you a gang of money. But I know you still can't go left, bro. Yeah. You still got to get in the weight room at 6 in the morning.
I still got to coach you to some stuff.
How do you tell a kid that? How do you tell somebody 18 years old that
just signed a $10 million NIL deal?
Just said you got 600, 700,000 in college.
In college. And that was the benefit of college coaches. Like the college coaches were like, I don't want to do the NFL or the NBA, NFL because these are grown men. They have their own problems. I want to coach young men to being men.
Where I thought I could make a difference.
Yes.
You can't make a difference somebody pulling up in a Rolls Royce. Come on. You know, and so I just think that
to practice.
And you know, and now I don't even want to talk about other stuff, but what do you think he did before he got to practice?
Right.
With that kind of bread.
Exactly.
In a small town.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. So it just
running through.
So for me, that's 2 things, and I'm gonna get back to the younger kids too. One, I'm surprised more athletes aren't having kids in college. One, you just are automatically irresponsible, and 2, I'm surprised these girls ain't picked up on this game yet and just had this baby at 19, 20 years old and be set for the rest of your life and then go and do what you want to do because athletes can be just fools.
Yeah, exactly.
Licking money in a young age. Come on.
Right.
I'm also surprised some athletes haven't been getting robbed.
Right.
Like, X, Y, and Z making this money in this little small college town. Like, so
I know where you are all the time.
And you gonna tell me where you are at all times. God forbid something happened to some athlete, but these are just things that people don't talk about.
This is what you're thinking about. Like, it's like, because they know where you are at Friday night or Saturday night. You play this game, you're out of town, you're this. Yeah, that's. I didn't even think about that, Chris.
No one talks about it.
I didn't think about that.
It's very dangerous. So, but, you know, but when you double back down to high school, it's like, whatever you're giving them, like, and it's weird because when I was doing the EYBL thing, I came into the EYBL right as the scandal was going on. So coaches lost their jobs, coaches lost their freedom over a few thousands and some sneakers.
Right.
Like back in the day, dudes would get suspended for Snoop shoes. So, but now 5 years later, you can give dudes hundreds of thousands of dollars to play. And and you know, people get mad. I don't be counted by pockets, or you sound like the white man or some. But it's like, I can see what this is hurting the game.
It's incentivizing it. It's like why like a coach can be like, hey, I could get my kid to get over there on an NIL deal. You offer him this, take care of me on the back end.
You know, all that. 100%. The way the things are going now, you ain't even got to do the back end.
Right.
And so when you were coming up, we were coming up. I wanted to go to USC.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to USC. It wasn't because of nothing other than I wanted to go to USC.
Right.
And be a part of that campus and some girls and be popping in my own city.
Yeah.
Now, if I can make money and go to UC Davis, where I don't really want to go to school there, but they're gonna give me some money.
Right.
Then my intentions are already screwed. I'm already not giving them my full effort and love. So it's just a fine line. I don't have the answers for it, but I do blame the powers that be, because if they would have stopped being so stingy, dudes wanted to be giving them money on the back end. You know, dudes was having parents where they couldn't even fly to come watch them play, but you selling their jerseys, dude. What are we doing?
Right. There was a better fix.
It was just
there was a better fix.
There was a gradual fix, but that's what it has been since amateur sports even started. It was just, and it's the NCAA. The people that we have never seen before, we never know what they look like. Is it 12 of them? Is it 18 of them?
Right, who is it?
But they're billionaires over sports. And all they had to do was just be like, let's give them this, let's give them that. But now they just gave us everything. And now I think it's killing sport. And now you're talking about you can go to junior college for 2 years and then play college basketball?
4 years. So you can do 6 years.
That's stupid. Like, who said that? Like, who sat in the room and said, this is going to make sports better? So it just killed all your youngsters. All your college athletes.
And maybe it's that like this, because it's greed. It's only greed. Like when you think about it, when the powers that be are making money, it's only greed. So they're thinking like, oh shit, some of these kids we can't make money off of right now.
Right.
Let's send them to these guys. Let's give them an extra 6 years because we're losing it on the very athletic ones.
And they're not losing it. They just want more than
they want more.
They want more. So I joked with Keon I said, they just said, fuck sports. They just said 10 years and we gonna make enough and we out.
Right.
Because what they're doing, there's no way somebody can project in 20 years that that's gonna be a good thing. To have 22 years. And I was a late dude. When I went to junior college, I was already out of high school 2 years, and went to university, I was already out of high school 3 years. So by the time I had the university, I was 22. So I know that. And that was a stigma the whole time for me because I was embarrassed. Like, dude, you should have been there. Your class is already graduated. You should be on. So, and I played with older dudes. It was dudes older than me on the team.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the norm. It was still a freshman came in and led us in scoring. It was still, you know what I'm saying? So you got these grown men. I don't care how good you are at high school. You still ain't your grown man stage your body yet. So
you don't know everything yet.
So I don't understand how. So my point of saying is like, I just think that whoever the powers there be or may be are just sitting there like, man, let's just get out of here in 10 years. Same thing with sports and gambling. Like, that's the death of sports, bro. Like, you can't just keep in. Yeah, the system could have been done better, but you can't just keep putting in vices.
Yeah.
And thinking that's gonna get better. So I'm gonna be paid at 20. Ain't no law against smoking weed no more.
No.
And I could gamble on the low, bro. And I'm older.
And that is the thing, like, cause it's we're older now, right? Mm. So we're not as susceptible to the temptations when we were just knuckleheads running the street. Mm. Like, I'm just putting myself mentally where I was at that time with the absolute opportunity to destroy your future.
In a second.
You know what I mean? Like, we see some of these young men aren't even ready in the pros.
Right.
They're not even ready for that money in the pros.
Right.
You mean to tell me these babies are getting this money or getting this? Like,
babies. But, you know, immature I will.
Dude. That money, it probably wouldn't have lasted or I would have blew it on something.
And I would have had multiple kids.
And I would have been in rooms and places I didn't need to be in.
Not yet.
I don't need to be there.
It's just, you got enough hanger-ons. You got adults that didn't get where they wanted to be in life. And they're like, people are just savvy and people are mean and people will take advantage of you at all turns.
Yeah.
And now you're just putting kids in spaces where they just not ready for it.
Yeah, and they don't care about you.
No.
They don't care about you. Like, if I can get a good 1 year out of you, I don't care about the next 20 of your years.
That's not my
problem.
Boy, I have another story about that too. But yeah, that's my one time, me and Reggie was having this talk, and I was just going through some things like about one player. I'm like, why this player don't mess with me and mess with this one person?
Yeah.
Just on whatever it was. And he was like, because you probably think you can help the kid long term. He just want the kid for this 1 year and get what he can get out of this kid and his family. And he ain't tripping about the rest of it like that. Oh, my bad. It didn't work out. Oh, well, them checks cashed already.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I got what I needed.
So I would be fearful. If my kid was dope and my kid was really good, you better have a real tight circle now.
That's what I was going to ask. That was the next place I was going to go. I don't want to keep you too much longer.
No, I ain't tripping.
Okay.
I remember my mom.
So, how do you, like, say if you do have a kid that's that, you know what I mean, that is, how do you protect them from the sharks that are swimming around the blood in the water?
It's crazy.
How do you protect them?
Being good parents. Don't get caught up in the sauce yourself.
Okay.
Because they're gonna recruit you too. They're gonna tap into what that you wasn't on when you were younger, or when you want to be like a lot of these parents. I mean, to have a kid means you have to sacrifice your own life.
Right.
So maybe you were popping, or maybe you weren't popping. Whatever it is, and life has got you where you don't physically look your best no more.
Yeah.
But we're gonna tap into that. We're gonna still take you out. We still gonna have that fine thing around you. We don't care whether you're older now and stuff like that. So parents,
we're going to touch on your insecurities.
Yeah, for sure. And parents,
because they're predators. They are predators.
They know what they're doing. And some parents, a lot of them fall for it.
Yeah.
And I'm not even mad at them, because we always call the lights when you work for Nike or you're involved with Nike, it's the lights. A lot of parents don't know what to do with them lights. They, like I said, they've sacrificed for their kids or whatever reason all these times. So they're supposed to be removed from that. That's not supposed to be you. You're supposed to. Your kid's supposed to be in front of you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I've seen some parents. I'd be like, man, you falling for that? You falling for that? But no, they don't care. It's all an illusion.
Yeah, you've been boo-boo the fool.
Right. So, like, as long as my kid can keep doing what he's doing, we straight. So, I just think it's the parents have, and some parents come from tough situations too. So, I'm not saying that they're not supposed to be somewhat Google-eyed by what's going on, because life is tough, you know what I mean? But you have to come with a strong parent. You got to be a strong foundation.
Strong foundation.
Like, you know what I'm saying? If it's a single mom or a single pop, but they got to have some people around them, talking to them and letting them know, like, and they got to trust some people. I feel like when I was doing my job at EYBL, because of my relationship with Why Not and Reggie, them people didn't trust me. They didn't see the character in me, and that I'm not that guy. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't going to sacrifice my reputation or my character for an extra $50,000.
Yeah.
And then back then, if I would have got the $50,000, I'd have went to jail. Now I've been $500,000.
Right.
I can do that now.
You can do it now.
I can do
now
that
it's cool.
now. Right? You know what I mean?
Oh, and it really bothers me, because it's to pay to play, and it's like the bar is here. It only gets lower.
Right.
The bar only drops.
Yeah.
It's just right at the point where children are getting paid. Like, I mean, 9, 10, because parents are getting paid to take their kids to certain teams and do this. Like, hey, I'll pay for your rent. You bring them over here. They're doing that behind closed doors already.
Well, not anymore. You can do that out.
You could do it out front, and it's like they're more so embarrassed still, though. Like, to be like, damn, you paying an 8-year-old?
No, it's a statement. Yeah, ain't no coach gonna cop to saying they paying.
Exactly.
Now we talking about high school. They'll let you know.
Yeah, they'll let you know.
Yeah, but I didn't even know if a parent paying an 8-year-old. Coach, that's sick.
They're doing it right now, and the thing is, the exposure I had to certain things or whatever, just all around the city, the gambling in the stands, the gambling like on the side, like fights over It's like, dude, this is AAU, this is 8U, this is Pop Warner, this is, what are y'all doing?
See, that's one thing I was saying. I was mentioning this about the weed being legal now, and gambling goes along. That's fine. They're supposed to be. I don't have a problem with any of that. It's taking off the stigma of them. So now it's no longer a shameful thing. So now it's just like, that's just normal. And so when you can just gamble at an AU game, or like
smoking in the parking lot, doing this in the parking lot, it's like, damn, like we don't have no standard.
So so let's hide this. At least if that's what we own, let's hide this. Let's not let the kids see it. But like I said, the stigma's gone. So now it's just right in front of the kids. Everything is just right in front of the kids. The kids are supposed to be able to know all these things in life and we just supposed to let them just be, and we're not supposed to try to hide anything from kids anymore. Like, no, there's things they just shouldn't know or shouldn't do. So, and back to the point of how you protect your kids, it's no one size fit all thing. But I always say, just have them around good people.
Right.
Just have that would stop a lot of the problem if you just have them around good people. But that means you got to be a good person yourself.
Right.
You know, you got to hold yourself to accountability, a certain amount of accountability.
Got to hold that.
That's why some kids don't want to be the point guard or don't want to be the quarterback, because you can't be effing up if you're the one trying to run the plays and everybody got to follow you. You know what I mean? So, and I get that, and I say I get a lot of stuff because I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, one minute I could be hanging with somebody super successful, next minute I could be hanging with the homie from the hood. And so I've seen this, and I think I'm at a sweet spot in my age where I'm getting up there, but I still got a little bit of swagger left that I can understand kind of both ways. So right. I know the struggling single mom because I grew up with that. So I can imagine if my mom could have had a chance to have an extra couple of dollars for me to go play for this team, which I don't really want to play for, but we need that kind of help here and there. So I know parents that get cell phone bills paid, or I know parents that would get rent paid. You know what I'm saying? So some of that is necessary.
Yeah, the struggle is real. The struggle is real. Yeah. And there's situations where it is like necessary. Like, dude, like this person is struggling. Like they're having a very hard time in life. Like, how can I help out here and there? That's just being those are just being good people things. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I like you bringing it up, and not me bringing it up, and you talking about it, like, it does open my eyes up to like some nervousness. Like, oh shit, we really don't know what the landscape is going to be like in 5 years.
Yeah, we have no idea.
We have no idea what it's going to look like.
Right.
And this will be the last thing I touch on is I go to like Orange County and like the outskirts of LA, and I see all of the facilities, like all the access to the facilities that they have, the gyms, the workout, the weights, and all this. It's almost like a lack of that here in the city, like where we have academies or whatever they're calling these things. And I'm like, why is it out there? And we're traveling all the way out there to get these specialized trainings. Do we not have, or is it just that it's too expensive out here to build?
Well, it goes back. That's a good question, though. It actually goes back to just like, ain't nothing fair. And we've always been able to do what we need to do with the resources that we have. Yeah. So I think it is hard to build out here. I think they have a lot of space out there. When we do build something, we do have something, we tear it up. You know what I mean? So we say we want things and then we get them, or we don't respect them. And that's one thing, like, I guess I'm here mostly because of AirWest. When I go back to AirWest sometimes the parents frustrate me. Sometimes the parents, like you say, why haven't we all these talented parents? And I've asked, I've said, you guys have all these great gifts, all these people, help us
funnel it through.
Talk to me, what I'm saying? Like, so we don't always, we say a good thing, we don't always do it. And like I said, and then sometimes when we do support stuff, we don't put our best foot forward. Okay. So it's a social thing that I think that people in this neighborhood have always kind of had to deal with, you know what I'm saying? So, and they do. Their taxes are different. Their money a little different, so they do have bigger
write-offs, this and that.
So they have all that stuff, and if the map or if any of them big old Ladera Center, whatever, if they go up, okay, we do some stuff. That might be 6 months worth of rent that we just put out there. So it's just a conversation that we need to really have and be honest with it. It's a little disappointing to know that 1 minute we can brag about having the most dudes in the NBA and yada yada, and then we don't even have a facility where most of them grew up. Right. So that's a us problem.
That's a us problem, and that's something that I've been noticing. Is like, damn, even the tournaments, the tournaments and shit ain't here.
Nothing's out
like
here.
Where all the talent is traveling to go to the tournament, or we're tracking, like, and it's like. San Diego, this, Norco, this. And it's like, as a parent, it would be so much more convenient just as a parent to have something that was local. Yeah. Like, we're spending weekends. Right. Like 4 hours driving, this and that.
For a game.
For a game. And it's
like, game. And people, and I'm often like asked, when we gonna do more, when we gonna do this. And some of that is me, I gotta just buckle down and knock some of this out. But it's far in between people that really want to do some stuff outside of just getting paid. Yeah, I could do a tournament tomorrow and make a gang of money. You know what I'm saying? But we got to do it right. We do have to find a space. We don't really have a lot of 2 gyms, high schools. There's one gym where we had like a little baby, crazy gym. I don't even know why they even built that gym. Like, but we got to put our resources together. Like, and if that's anything, I'm calling on with the guys we got in the league.
Yeah.
Like, bro, come on now.
Let's do it.
Like, y'all got to get together at some point. Trust somebody, trust some foundation, put some money in there. We do need our own facility. Like, we used to have the Hacks back in the day. I don't know if you know about the Hacks back in the day in Hawthorne. It was like a 3-court spot, and that was like 2010, 2012. That was like the best stuff. And they would do tournaments.
There was Drew League stuff there. Did they have?
They had like it was in a hangar, but that was in the same space.
Okay.
But by then, it had become, I don't know if it's a Tesla or some kind of airplane.
Oh, is that where SpaceX is now?
Yeah.
Okay,
So in that little spot
off of Crenshaw.
Yeah. So that was the Hack. So that was the spot, and then that folded. But that was early on, 2000. I say it's 2009, it's about 2012. Guys really wasn't, and I hate people get mad because they be like count people's pockets, but it's on the internet, so I know what you make. I know what you got, and that's before there's certain guys just got super rich. Now we got like a lot of money, and then we got a lot of corporations. Like, I got all the ideas, but I got to put some of this to action too, because it wouldn't cost this guy that's been in the league for so long. It wouldn't probably cost him a dime because he got 5 different sponsors that's going to do anything he asks just to help. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we should definitely be able to put our minds together. But LA's like that, man. LA's like that.
Because they're willing to go out and do what is asked of them because they want their service. They want your service. They just want your face around. Like,
they just want to say, see what we did in Compton? Yeah, okay, you did, but yeah, just give us that check, bro. We'll make it work.
We'll make it work. And
so.
That was the thing that was bothering me. And I was just like, damn, dude, like, as a parent, just like, I just looked up like, I'm driving everywhere.
Bruh.
Nothing's here. It's only right.
Only right. So.
And that would be dope. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but I think we're in a new place and we're all learning. You know what I mean? We're all learning, but it just needs to be more Chris's. You know what I mean? Like it just, you can only spread yourself so thin, right? Like, you have your program, but no, like, through this talk, through this Hidden Heroes in Plain Sight, through this conversation, I see why Air West is so successful, because you care. It's more than just about having a program that's successful. Like, oh, look at my program. It's like you're measuring your success based on a different barometer. Mm-hmm. It's like, how are these children leaving this? Am I helping somebody? Am I protecting? You know, like, and I don't think people take that accountability and ownership over certain programs where it's like, no, this reflects me.
Right.
This is a reflection of me.
No, it really is. And maybe if my program was in Long Beach or, I don't know, I think I'm a little different in some aspects. I got my problems and people may say some things about me, but when it comes to this basketball and this kids, I just think I do come from a different place.
Yeah.
And like I said, I make my mistakes. I'm not perfect. And
nobody is.
And I was about to say, maybe if it was in a different place, no. The fact that it's in my neighborhood makes it even, like you said, women want to do this, like, and I gave you the answer. I can't fail at this. So you talk about your passion and like, so I've done so many different things in my life and I'm really proud of my life. But when you talk about your passion and like, no, I can really plant my flag as I do want to be, I don't know if it's a legendary word, but I don't want to be forgotten. I do want to be put in that same esteem as some of the coaches that I played for, some of the people that I know. I want to be like, when it's all said and done, be like, no, that was a great man. I've had a couple people tell me before, and that's crazy to have people tell you you're a great person. Because I've never heard nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? You're a good dude and you fine, whatever. But I ain't never heard nobody call me a great person. And so, and I was just telling somebody that the other day, like, that's what I lead with now. None of my accomplishments or none of the things I've done, I'll talk about it, but I lead with my character.
Right.
And whenever anybody tries to attack my character, I say, you must don't know who you're talking to.
Right.
And that's that's just a growth and a maturity thing, because I've been cocky about all kinds of things in my life.
Yeah.
But this thing about what I'm doing with Air West, and you said something earlier about doing something and then not knowing what it was going to be. Mm-hmm. Now, Air West was a means to keep my relationship with Nike going. It was definitely put some money in my pocket. but even when it was just the pros, I was like, nah, man, we doing something different here.
Yeah.
And where we at with Air West right now, I did not see this kind of love coming. I figured some people like, cool, when we get some kids get better, but this is like going to the grocery store, going to pump my gas, or just going random places and somebody, and then again, I don't be knowing their names.
Yeah.
But I be having to quickly go into,
like,
but then it didn't, or we did a project 2 years ago with Nike and Air West, and it was a lot of stuff, like the t-shirts and the shorts was left over. So a couple of my coaches like, man, we should sell them. Bro, I'm not trying, like making an extra 500. Like I want to be paid. Like I believe that I have put enough time into this thing and into this company, into this community, into this game that I should be well off, or at least much more stable. But just to make an extra couple of $5,
not at that cost.
Bro, I'd rather just have the kids and be at Baldwin and the ball and people like, why do half our kids got on Air West shorts?
I was just about to say that, dude. Everywhere I go. And I noticed it because Xander has them. You know what I mean? And so everywhere I go, I see Air West basketball shorts.
Bruh.
Like but if you think about it, it's also smart. Like it's marketing.
I was taking marketing for sure.
And so all the kids got it. I'm like, oh shit, that's what that is.
And we're running low, and I'm like, I've already stretched my budget so long, and I'm like, yo, and like I said, those are leftovers. That wasn't even part of the program. They just was like, yeah, you can have the rest of the stuff. And I was just like, oh, I could use this. So,
yeah.
But now I see it, and like you said, places and kids got. I'm like, and that's the pride and the joy. Like I'm not going to ever sit there and say I don't want to get paid. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, of course.
Ridiculous. But if I'm not going to get paid, then I'm gonna want this other stuff.
Right.
I'm gonna want this admiration. I'm gonna want this love. I'm gonna want this like, yo, you changed my life, and I did change lives when I was at losing, and I get that. But that was just a 30 to 40 kids. That's our loot. This is touching. This is crazy. Of all nationalities, you know what I'm saying?
All
boys
walks.
and girls. All, like we're like. I was telling somebody the other day. I was like, if you want to get an idea of LA basketball, you just got to come to Air West.
That's it.
Because you're gonna see everything. You're gonna see, like you said, talented kids that's never touched the basketball before. You're gonna see Latinos, Asians, whites, Black,
everybody.
And I've never had no parents get into it. I've had a few parents be parenting, but you just got to just tell them like this ain't what this is.
Yeah.
You chill out, let them. You can talk to them on the ride home. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's hard when you talk about yourself because it kind of sounds like you being a narcissist but like, bro, like I know I done played so much basketball. I done been around so many basketball programs. I know what we doing. That's just not what it is. And it's definitely, and if it is somebody else out there that doing it, it ain't for free.
Chris,
and
I've raised 3 children. 3 children. My son is about to graduate from high school. I've been around sports and having kids go here and paying for this and paying for that. 3 different generations, 18, 13, and 9. Right now. I have not, and we've done everything. Soccer, boxing, this, that, absolutely everything. Art, creative stuff. There is not another program that I can even compare to Air West. There's not even one that I've experienced. I've even been to paid stuff that we've spent money for, and it's not even comparable to Air West.
I appreciate that.
And it's like, I really, really appreciate and love what you're doing there, man. And this is Heroes Hidden in Plain Sight.
I be feeling like that too, though.
Do you?
I be feeling like that. No, that's part of what my writings is. My writings came from that. Like,
really?
Like, y'all don't see me, bro?
Like what?
But I'm with the corporate world too. Like, y'all don't see that? Y'all don't see this? Like, I'm from LA. I'm 6'something". I'm not like some scrawny dude that you. Well, I used to be scrawny, but I'm not like some scrawny.
You can't miss me.
Like like when I walk, my boss said something a long time ago. I'll wrap it up with you, and I'll do the talking. When I was at EYBL one time, my boss said something. He said, "You know, when you guys walk in a room, the room tilts, or when you walk in a gym, the gym tilts." And I was just like, I low-key felt like that anyway. But for you to say that, like, I was like, wait a minute, and that's how I approach like. That's how I approach it. Like I know I can't come in there and do nothing stupid. I can't come in there and not dress. I can't come in there. I know that I'm in a representation of Air West.
Yeah.
And the first representation of Air West. And it's from my city, and I do believe My trainers are amazing. Like, of course, this would not be happening if I didn't have the training stuff.
Dope.
You know what I'm saying?
Dope.
They allow me just to walk around and look like I'm doing something. You know what I mean? So
I see you walking to each circuit, checking in, like, all right.
I gotta look busy. I look busy and give their nerves. Yeah. So you know, I'm and I say this with other things going on, but I'm truly blessed.
Yeah,
I appreciate this opportunity. I'm happy you saying that because those are how I feel like I feel like I'm doing. I got out the hood through basketball, and not because of how high I could jump.
right.
You know what I mean? Saying and I came back and trying to do the same thing again. Like it gets a little.
Oh, full circle.
But it get. I just feel like sometimes it just sounds weird when I say it, but no, this is like a. I just hope I can do this the rest of my life.
That's amazing. That's bomb because you're doing something. You're doing great, and you want to be doing it. Wait, I want to talk about something else though. You keep referring back to your writings.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
So on my Instagram page,
okay,
I've been documenting my life.
Okay,
and it started during pandemic. Everybody's trying to scramble what's the next thing, and somebody had told me something about my character that I didn't agree with. And instead of lashing out at that person, I said, and I was funny because I mentioned it too. I've always low-key been telling my life story on starting in MySpace.
Okay.
I've always but it would been like different stuff, but it wasn't the same. But it would just be like, this is what I did. Then when Facebook, I started doing stuff on Facebook, and I got back to telling stuff on Facebook now. But I'm telling from elementary to Air West. I'm giving you how it was for me. I'm being as transparent as possible. People always tell me I need to get a documentary or write a book. I'm like, I get that. And one day I said, but what I'm doing on Instagram is no one's doing that. They might give you a story here and a story there. I'm literally giving you from when my daddy died to going to Crenshaw to getting cut to going to this college and then going to this college. And Drew League and Michael, Kobe, Russell, Beyonce, whoever, everything I've walked through in life, I'm documenting. And it might have started off as a different energy, but now it's just a guide to, and like you say, 95% of people you talk to, I think I'm talking to 99% of people.
Right.
That's not going to make it to the pros.
Right.
Yeah. So me and Joy joke, because I got different ways of saying, I say I'm talking to 99% of other niggas that ain't going to make it. And that you can have a fabulous life and still do some great things.
But that's okay. You may not make it the way you thought you were.
I'm saying I'm a walking example of that.
You may not be going, but God is guiding you where you're supposed to be. It's fruits of everybody's labor in different aspects. You may not get what you thought you may not be the MVP of the league.
Right.
But you may be the physical therapist on this basketball team, football team.
Right.
And have an impact as well.
And live a great life.
So
that's one thing, and I've heard that years ago from my friend, Jerry Sawyer, who ended up being Kobe right-hand man for a while. And he said, it was in 2007, he was like, he learned that you can live an NBA life and not be in the NBA. And that's when the lights started clicking for me, because, of course we all want to be in the NBA.
Yeah.
Not that it was ever an option, but I'm still going to have.
Yeah, we all have aspirations.
I'm hanging around these dudes, I'm like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? But so when my man said that, it was just like, so I don't live a financially NBA life, but I live a good life, and I'm closer to my dreams than I ever thought I would have been at this age, or at 11 years old when my father died. So, and it's a long-winded stuff, but so I just been sharing my life story. My last post was about buried my boy yesterday.
Sorry to hear that.
I appreciate
Rest
that.
in peace.
My old barber, my old friend's name Duffy. So he's Belizean. So yesterday he had more people outside his funeral than he had inside. It was crazy. I've never seen this many people. Well, I don't say never, but it's been a long time since this many people. Even when Boz passed, Boz had a lot of people as well. It was similar to that. So I had wrote about it. That's why I was running a little late. I felt like I was late because I hadn't heard him put that post together.
It's all good. And this is just the second episode of this, and it's just let me know that I'm doing the right thing this platform, because what you said, what you shared today is very impactful, and it's going to help so many people, because what you're doing needs to be duplicated. I'm gonna just say it. What you're doing needs to be duplicated, and we need to find our hidden heroes, and we need to celebrate them. We need to give y'all. I'm giving you your flowers now for me.
No,
you know what I mean? Right. I appreciate and I see you. I see what you're doing. You know what I mean? And you deserve your flowers. And I just pray that we have more young men like you in this world that will be giving back to the kids and showing the kids that there are people here for you.
Right.
I'm here for you. It's not even for me. I'm here for you to be successful. So this has been Hidden Heroes in Plain Sight. My boy Chris Young, man. Let's go. I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate it.
And this is an open door policy. You know what I mean? Like if you ever want to come back, ever talk about anything, or you got something you want to promote or present, come through.
Oh, likewise, I can always come back and.
I just want some Nike shit, man.
There it is. You always gonna get that question.
Hey, you got some shoes I can get?
Right.